Alrighty. Thank you very much, Larry and Janet. Thank you so much for coming this morning. We really appreciate your time. We're going to be focusing our discussion on a few things, but before we do that, let me introduce myself. My name is Amit Koshal. I'm an engineer and a lawyer by qualification. Um, I run a law firm in India, and we also run a software company called Enalito. I'm a co-founder of Enalito. Enalito focuses on a lot of things. We help e-commerce companies solve a lot of issues. For example, we help you identify which customers you're about to lose. We help you in your digital marketing spend. We understand that a lot of your digital marketing and ad spend go waste, and perhaps you're not getting the best ROI of your digital marketing spend. We also help you with your customer acquisition, customer retainership, customer retention, acquiring new customers, marketing, your personalization, your onset analysis, your analytics, all of that we help you with. Janet is actually one of our clients and is using Enalito from a while. And I now want to, let's say, give the dice to virtual dice to Janet, and maybe ask her two things. What do you do, Janet, in your company Firesider, and why? What's the purpose of your organization?
Mm-hmm.
The what and the
Yep,
why?
Yeah, exactly. So Firesider is an apple cider vinegar wellness tonic company. We've been around, this is our 9-year anniversary actually this month. And I'm the digital marketing manager. So I do everything from email marketing, paid advertising, social advertising, SEO, website optimization, a little bit of everything. We're a small company, so we're a tiny team. And it's been great to have you guys on board because it's helped kind of augment what we do with personalization, which is something that we hadn't done a ton of before. And it's definitely a super important kind of piece to marketing nowadays, especially.
Interesting. So you know what? I will not call you a small company. I'll call you a growing company. That's a better word, or that's a better way of putting it.
We are a growing company.
Yeah, you are a growing company, right? Very nice. And Larry, for audiences' benefit, if you can briefly introduce yourself and your business, and why did you choose to be in the water treatment pump sector? What's your why?
Very simple. Why I chose the water treatment business. First of all, I've never met anybody that didn't use water. I've never met anybody that wanted contaminated water. Everybody wanted the best water they can at their fingertips, et cetera, et cetera. I realized that bottled water would go out of favor because it has a very bad green energy because of carbon footprint in moving bottled water, to put it in the plastic bottles, to handle those bottles, the cardboard that it has to store, warehouse, move them again, put them on the shelves, move them, lug them back out of the stores, put them under your shelves, cool them in your refrigerator and drink them. It's a long way to get a clean drink of water. And it's much as you could pay as much as gasoline. So as everything, and when I was a youngster, my grandmother used to have ice delivered to her home. Okay, and the guy would come in and carry the ice and put it into what they called an ice box. And then one day the guy never came again, and I said to my grandmother, "What happened to Sam? He used to bring the ice." She said, "Oh, Larry, I bought a refrigerator." So I realized purification was going to become an appliance. Okay, bottled water is not the answer. If you look at it, it's got the worst of the worst effects from an environmental standpoint. You can have freshly clean water at your fingertips. The industry that I went into with the water quality industry initially looked at point of entry and point of use as two forms of how they're going to treat water through a house. Okay, you can treat it all or you can treat just part of it. But they realized that 98% of the water is used for utility water, whether it be washing your clothes, flushing your toilets, taking a shower, watering the grass, washing the dog, whatever it might be, and only 1 or 2% is drinking water, where it really has to have the high quality. So it made two different markets for me. The other thing, the other side of it was, instead of going and trying to fight cities and municipalities based on their quality, they'll destroy themselves. I went out and started developing the well water business, okay? Because now what happens, I have more products that I can bring to the customer, and my value as a company becomes. So if I drill wells, I give them a water source. If I put in a pumping system, I deliver it. If I can test it, they know the quality of it. If I can filter it, they know it's safe. And if I can service it, they're even happier, because now I become the sanitarian guy for their whole system, and I guide their family. Okay, and they don't want to do it. Now, the next part of it, as this was growing, the do-it-yourself business started growing. You had Home Depot coming online, you had Lowe's coming online, et cetera, et cetera. And that showed that there was a great, great, great need for people that wanted to be able to get merchandise and install it and put it in themselves. And that's how we developed our e-commerce. We can become a local business, but we can become an international business through e-commerce. Right now, we will do approximately on e-commerce, approximately 100 sales a day. We generally run about 3,000 to 4,000 sales a month. It has been growing substantially. Our price ticket varies, but our average price is $748 on per sale. So we are concerned. We knew it had to be supported not only by the content from the manufacturer, but it had to be supported by shipping, and it had to be supported by an engineer or somebody inside to answer the question to them, or as well as videos to show them how to install it. So that's what we tried to bring it to. And I felt that it was a very easy path, because we're all consumers. And there's one rule you need in life to be successful, and that is just do unto others as you want done unto yourself. If you follow this rule and you treat people the way you want to be treated yourself, you'll be successful in whatever you do. So that is our mission every morning when we get up. That's what our culture is. We're going to do to people as we want them to us, and build a great business. And
Absolutely.
the internet certainly has given us a entrance into contact.
That's a great piece of advice, Larry. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. So we must treat others the way we want to be treated. If you want to be loved, love others. So be that person who the love flows to, the money flows to, the attraction flows to, everything flows to. Be that person. Fantastic. So I want to ask a few questions to both of you. Janet, what changed for you in the last 4 months? How is the business in the last 4 months?
Yeah, lots changed actually. The COVID crisis boosted our sales through the roof actually. We couldn't keep up with the demand. Our product, it takes a few weeks to kind of be ready to bottle. So it's not something that can be bottled immediately. And not only on our website, but on Amazon, it was flying off the shelves. We were out of stock on Amazon from middle of March through just the end of June. We were finally able to get stock back there. And on our website, we were about 2 weeks behind. So it's a blessing and a curse a little bit, because obviously it was great to see the increase in demand for our product. People are really starting to think about their health and wellness. Our product fits right into that space. But it was a little bit complicated, trying to get product produced a little bit quickly, and also getting produce. We make everything with 100% organic ingredients. So making sure that we're still kind of keeping up with those standards is very important to us. That kind of level of quality is what sets us apart from our competitors. So just being able to get that produce in was also a bit of a challenge. But things are, kind of leveling out now. We're ahead of the game now. We're back on Amazon. Everything's restocked, but it's definitely been a little bit of a whirlwind these last few months.
Interesting. And by what percentage has the business increased in the last 4 months?
I can tell you that in March we had over 4,000 orders. Normally we have about 1,500 or so to 2,000. So it doubled our traffic.
Interesting. Very nice. So I want to understand from you, Janet, what mistake did you make in the last 4 months? Did you react to some of these things? Like you constantly, a business is increasing by 25% month on month. Let's say if we talk about last 4 months, if we're saying it's doubled in 4 months, that means 25% increase every month. Now, were you reacting to situations, or were you acting? How are you taking up? How are you taking up this sudden increase in the business? How are you taking it up?
Yeah, we were mostly reacting to it, to be honest, just because we weren't anticipating. Normally our busy season runs through, cold and flu season. So from early, early fall, like fall through the winter. And by March, when it's becoming spring, we usually see a lull through the late spring and summer, just because most of the time people aren't thinking of our product when it's not cold and flu season. So we didn't really anticipate that kind of response. So we had to mostly be reactive to it. But now, I mean, that's created a change in the company just to have a plan going forward for this type of thing. We still don't really know where everything's going to shake out with it, what's going to happen this winter. So now we're prepared and in a better place that we're planning for that. So that we have stock already ready to go. We have larger production runs of the product happening. So now we've kind of built that plan in, but it definitely was a little bit more of a reaction than getting ahead of it.
Interesting. How are the business for you, Larry, in the last 4 months?
Well, our growth has been substantial, and I'm talking in the millions. Okay, that because of our price point. Our biggest concern is that was our manufacturers, was our supply chain going to be able to see the gravity of what COVID is going to mean and understand that we are in an essential business. We never close. We never close our doors. You have to have water. You have to, be able to respond to your customer if there's an emergency, et cetera, et cetera. Manufacturers, unfortunately, were trying to protect, or fortunately, trying to protect it. I hope they didn't know what to do. They were relying on governors. They were relying on people to make their decisions, whether they close, whether to ship, whether to bring people in, whether not to bring people in, et cetera, et cetera. And the other problem was their business would change. Their essential business should have been concentrated on, and their periphery business or the secondary business should have been not concentrated on, so they could supply, so we could have a supply chain. We're now seeing, so what we did is as soon as I saw it, I knew there was going to be a supply chain. So I doubled all my orders, and I doubled, then I kept on backing them up to give them what we thought was going to happen. Right now, we're finding the wells are going dry. Even though we sent them a message, they didn't know how the internet was going to be such an important part of their growth business. Where the Main Street retailers, the brick and mortar retailers were closed, we were open. We were open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they were still shipping. So we kept many, that's a thunderstorm you're hearing behind us. We kept many of our suppliers very, very busy and so forth, but we could not relate to them how much important the internet growth was going to be and what we were looking at. Now they're all coming back to us and saying, oh, we underplanned this, because now in many cases we're out of stock. So the fortunate part of it is I don't carry just one product. And I'll just give you an example. On pressure tanks, I carry 5 manufacturers, okay? If I don't have A, I'm going to have B. If I don't have B, I'm going to have C, and so forth and so on. So I can get through that. Long term, I think that stuff has to come back to the United States. We have to manufacture more in the United States. Most of the stuff we buy is done by robots anyway. It's all raw material. China, we do buy some stuff from China. We do buy some stuff from Taipei. They're very confused of what they're doing. They're having price increases when the metal market is going down. They're increasing prices. So we're looking forward to bringing on more American manufacturers at this time and be closer to home. It's 60 to 90 days from when I buy from China, and you never get the right answer from them. I've got stuff coming from, believe it or not, Germany, and it's stuck in customs. Where its supply chain is going to be a problem. We saw with our manufacturers that we're not going to provide us or going to have a problem. We went out to our key customers, the one that who are business to business relationships, and we gave them heads up to not only look for us and to increase their orders, but to look for a second or third supplier, because they would be out of business. And we actually told them who might have goods. not that we're pushing goods away, but it's no goods if they don't have anything, they close their doors as well, or they have a bad customer experience. In the long term, that's going to have an effect. But I think the supply has been the biggest thing. The other thing is phony price increases has been the next thing. We had FedEx go up on our prices because of the number of home deliveries. They should have gone down. We argued at the gas point, and they did they adjusted it and gave us actually a bigger discount than we did since we started before. We had the same thing with UPS. They were slower in deliveries. We had better ways of communicating with our customers by following the tracking, not relying on them, that we would tell the customer where it is and expect a delay and so forth. 99% of the customers were satisfied with that because they know it was tough times.
Interesting.
But it will change some of our buying habits. The feeling on goods that are offshore in China from our sales department, from our purchasing department, as well as our service department, people want to know where it's coming from, and they're not happy about China. So we're seeing that, and it becomes a conversation. And I think it becomes more of a conversation when you're buying a pump or a motor or something along that line than it would be from a plastic toy or a shirt, because they're paying $700 or $800 or $900 or whatever.
Interesting.
So we're seeing a lot of that. We're seeing a lot of that conversation.
Wonderful. Now I think we should ask a poll question to you guys as well. So attendees, Katie, if you can launch the first poll question for everybody. Yeah, so the first question is, do you know which customers you are losing? Every business have some churn-out ratio. They get some customers, they lose some customers. Do you know which customers are you losing? The idea is that, you know what, we have to make our customers as our clients. Customers come and go, clients stay with you. But do you have any idea which customers you're losing? So let's see what people have to say for it. Say to it. 83% people say we do not know which customer they are losing. Wonderful. So this is one of the things that we do at Enalito. We help you identify which customer you're about to lose, and give you a plan to retain those customers who are about to lose, who you are about to lose. Interesting. Moving forward, I want to ask a couple of questions to Janet. Janet, do you also have offline presence?
We do, but they're not our own stores. So we distribute. We are a wholesale business as well. So B2C is online e-commerce. We don't have any of our own stores, but on the B2B side, we distribute to small kind of natural food stores and also some of the bigger chains, like some of the Whole Foods, Big Y's, that kind of thing, supermarkets. So some of the more conventional supermarkets, but we started out in kind of the natural supermarket, small supermarket kind of segment. But yeah, we're expanding into more of the kind of national chains.
Wonderful. So what's your ratio of online versus offline business?
The B2B side is the bigger percentage of the business, probably 70 to 80%. The B2C side is what I'm looking to grow. So that's kind of my section of the business.
Okay, interesting. So Janet, you got a lot of new customers, a lot of new orders. The business has grown almost twice in last 4 months. What's your plan? What's your strategy to retain this growth, to retain the new customers you got? What's your plan?
Yeah. Actually, it's your app that's kind of helping us do that, to be honest. Because I know you mentioned, and it's true, that's how we started identifying which customers of ours are kind of falling off the map, but also which ones are brand new and if they're moving over into kind of the next ordering bucket. So that's been super helpful to see that info. And we're reaching out to them segmented on a segmented basis. And with different messaging, different product recommendations, it's been an email. It's been super, super helpful. I know that push notifications is something new you guys just started. So I think we're going to test with that too, because especially for like the new customers, when they come back to the site, it'd be great to kind of push a little notice to them. So yeah, so that segmentation has been really, really crucial. It's not something that we were easily able to segment on in our current ESP. We can a little bit, we did a little bit, but it wasn't very personalized. And we didn't have a way to offer product recommendations to them and kind of show them something that they would definitely be buying again, either something that they've already bought or that they've looked at. So having that capability has really increased sales just in the last couple of months.
Wonderful. Janet, I would request you to talk a little bit more about Enalito, how our app is being used by you? What do you like the most about it? If you can go a little bit into specifics.
Yeah, absolutely. So we use the on-site kind of widgets for personalization. So we have a few on our homepage. We have them on our product page, the cart page, you know, other products they might like, stuff that people have viewed, other products that people have bought. So depending on the page, we use like a different widget, but we use them all over the site, and that's driving extra revenue for us as well. And then we're sending, like I said, some segmented emails to some of the different groups of people in our VIP loyal segment that are frequent purchasers, people that are kind of defecting customers, so kind of on their way out the door, and new customers. Those are so far the segments we started with. We also send bi-monthly personalization emails, so just products that they might be interested based off of things they've bought or browsed. We're also sending browse kind of abandoned emails. So if they looked at something and didn't buy it, those are going out to customers too. So we're using a lot of the segmentation pieces of the on-site widgets and personalization throughout the month. And we kind of fit that in with my normal either batch and blast sale emails or the other kind of series we run through our ESP. So we sprinkle them in at least once a week. There's something that's going out, and the browse abandoned emails are going out every few days.
Interesting. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. You are our brand ambassador. Larry, I want to ask you, do you also have offline presence, Larry?
I'm sorry?
Do you also have offline presence, do you also have a store, like a physical store?
Yes, we have one storefront in the warehouse in Wyoming, Rhode Island.
Okay.
And
right.
we just to put it in perspective, we have 100,000 customers. Okay. Customers could come in from a water test, could come in to buying a pump, etc. What we look at to keep our customer, we look at the life cycle of what they bought from us. If they're buying a pressure tank, the life cycle is 10 years. If they're buying a pump, it might be 8 years. If they're buying a filtration system, they might have to change the filters once a year or whatever. So whatever the product they buy has a life cycle. We now categorize that customer in a life cycle, and we tell them right up front, we're going to send you a reminder to buy your replacement filters at 11 months, which means it's due in a year. We're going to put it into a package for you, so forth. You can buy it right on the email. You can do it. You can go on the site to buy it or whatever. And if you can buy 2 years packages, whatever. If they don't buy it, we get back to them and say, listen, it's time to change. One thing we don't know about our customer, because our stuff's in homes and it's permanently placed in homes, if the customer moves, we don't know who the new customer is. So what we try to do is we look at the address is more important than the customer, because that's where the pump is. It's the address. He doesn't take it when he moves or what if he dies or whatever. So we look at the address. So our communication becomes more of snail mail to get to them, that we haven't heard from you, blah, 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 blah. We can send them a promotion, so forth. You might have these products, where to get it, and try to reconnect to it. We looked at a company where we could get the exchange if an address property changes hands. We looked at a company like that, but it's just too cumbersome. With 100,000 people, if the home changes every 7 years on average, we would be turning over, in the 35 years we were in business, we would turn over our customers 5 times. So that's very, very difficult. What we try to do is we try to tease them with warranties, that your warranty is going to go out, possibly an extended warranty, possibly a replacement at some point, and try to get a conversation. Most of the times, and I would say probably we get only about a 10% response on it, because if it ain't broken, they ain't gonna fix it.
Interesting.
And
right. Interesting.
So that's kind of what it is. But we do want, you never know when they're gonna have a contamination, so that could change. We want them to look for us as the full service, not based on one product, but we want to own from the ground to their lips. And that's one of our sayings that we've created over the years. We'll do anything from the ground to your lips, and we can do that, and we can do it off, simply by getting the information that the customer can. Today, with cell phones and photographs and so forth, we are very, very active with our customers over the cell phone.
Wonderful.
So that's
Wonderful.
that's how we look at it.
Wonderful. Wonderful. How big is your team, Larry? How many people do you have?
About 25.
25 people. And so what technology do you use on your e-commerce store? What technologies, what apps do you use? Are you aware of those apps? What do
Yeah,
these apps do
my
for you?
format is Magento. We just moved from
Mhm.
Magento 1 to Magento 2.
Okay.
That's my format. As far as I also, and I use Magento as a three-way platform. I use it for my service department. I use it for my walk-in department, and I use it for my e-commerce department.
Okay.
And everything I own is on Magento. So the service trucks buy from Magento, etc. Magento is now tied into an inventory program, and the inventory program and so forth is tied into a scheduling program. So schedule work, and we have 5 trucks on the road every day. We do approximately 25 to 30 service calls a day, 6 days a week. So our service trucks are pulling from the same inventory. They actually write their orders for the service truck. The service truck becomes an account on Magento. We pack that order for them and put it on the service truck. And if they didn't use it, they can return it. And I walk in, we do the same thing. We sell everybody on walk-in. We go to our Magento site, or they can walk in themselves. We give them a kiosk. They can walk in, go right over to the site. They can put in their email address. Their account comes up. They can put in what they bought in the past. They can put that in. They can buy it. If their credit card's on file, they can buy it. The girl hands it to them and they walk away. We try to get rid of a customer in probably 2 to 3 minutes. Everything that they buy from us, we have a man deliver it to their car because our stuff is heavy. If they're buying salt, if they're buying media, if they're buying this, they're buying that, but we always have somebody deliver it to the car. That nobody walks out of there carrying, unless it's a small little bag. But we know who the customer is, we recognize them, and when we know and recognize them, we know exactly what they have. We try to make them part of the family. We want to see them on an annual basis, and that's how we try to communicate. But everything is done through Magento, because
Wonderful.
Magento, the pass of it goes right into our checking account. So as it gets processed and the payment and so on, it goes right into our checking account. And so it's all one business. Magento themselves said they have never seen anybody do it this way, but they love the idea because now it brings them into the retail business as well as into the service business.
Interesting, Larry. I want to ask a question to Janet now. Janet, we have a bunch of viewers, and most importantly, we're going to be posting these to different social medias. And so, what advice would you give to people who are starting their e-commerce businesses in the US?
Just starting out.
Yeah.
I guess there's a lot of advice. I mean, for one thing, I would say build your email list. You know, a lot of people like to say that email's dead, but it's really not. People check it every day, especially now more frequently because everybody's on their phones, they're home, they're working from home. They're all doing that. So I would say do that. If you're really, if you're starting out and you're building a new website, definitely build an email list or an SMS list. If you're more, we just started SMS a year ago. It's been really successful for us. We weren't sure if our audience would respond well to it because we skew a little bit higher. Usually over 55 is like a large majority of our customers. We weren't sure if they would love SMS, but they do. They like the communication better. Some of them switched just to SMS instead of email. So it's been like an interesting learning curve for that because we didn't know that they would take to it so well. So I would say like think about your company and your audience and test out a few things, see what works the best for you. We use Shopify for our website. It was we're not on Plus, we're just on the regular Shopify. And because we are a growing company, so it was an easy place to start to still get a lot of functionality. So I'd say that too, see where the best bang for your buck is, what you can get out of a platform, what it already has, what you don't need to pay extra for. And then I would say pay extra for the things that make sense. If you're trying to do more personalization or if you want to do, on-site pop-ups, things like that, add in that apps that kind of work well for your business, for your company. And that can show a return. I mean, for our company, that's the biggest goal for our CEO is that we're having a positive return from the things that we test. So I track that regularly. practically daily, but like the reports are monthly, just to like have a clear picture as to how, you know, how you're doing and what, if you're spending money on something, you know, is it working out for you? Don't keep something that's not working for you is what I would say, I guess. You know, it's just a waste of money then, and it can probably go somewhere else that's more beneficial. You know, the kind of digital ad space has been a space that I've helped kind of grow our company into. When I first started a little over 2 years ago, it had been kind of managed by an agency, but nobody was tracking it that well. Nobody knew kind of what the ROI was. And so I fixed some of that up. Some of the tracking data was incorrect. It was double counting. So just making sure that your analytics are where they need to be and you can have a clear picture and that everything is accurate is really helpful.
Wonderful, wonderful. So apart from Enalito app, what other apps are you using, Janet?
So
And what do they do for you?
Yeah, we use Privy for our on-site pop-ups. I've used a few other companies, in my past jobs. Justuno is one of those that does pop-ups as well. I like Privy though. It's been pretty successful. It integrates with Shopify really easily. We use HubSpot for our ESP. It integrates with that as well. We mostly went with HubSpot because we have such a big B2B business, so it was a great kind of CRM level. From a just B2C email marketing perspective, it doesn't have kind of the ease of personalization that your app gives us. So that was a way to kind of augment what we're doing on the email side. SMS, we use Emotive that plugs into Shopify as well. So that was an easy app to add. They help with setup. They created a pop-up for us through Wise Pops just for the SMS piece. So we have that app kind of running too. We use Fishbowl for inventory management. So that hooks up into our Shopify site. And kind of pulls inventory for B2C and B2B, so we know that we're not overselling. Those are the big ones, I think. We have a couple of small ones like store locators so that customers can find our product nearby them, and either a small local natural food store or a national chain if it's there by them.
Interesting. Larry, I want to ask you a question. I mean, I'm sure you have been in the business for a long time, and there are always certain projects, certain ideas which we keep pushing, which we keep procrastinating about. In these last 3-4 months, there has been a partial lockdown in the US and in other countries. What projects did you take up which you could not take up before lockdown? What projects, what ideas, what self-introspection, what improvements did you do in your business in the last 4 months, which you have been procrastinating for a while?
First of all, I'm not a procrastinator.
Okay, wonderful. Okay. Excellent.
If I probably have executed today probably 5 or 6 different new tasks for my company. Okay. What I did was I realized that they were going to have some time on their hands. So I had them clean up our database, clean up our customer list. If we respond to a customer for 10 years and we've never got another response, to get them out there, we put them in a file that we can go back to them at a different date and work on the address, as well as with customers, because we have customers in all 50 states. We're looking to take some of our customers, say for instance, if I have 250 customers in Utah, and I didn't get response for 150 of them. Okay, I would contact a dealer that I'm selling in Utah and say, John, I've got these 150 customers that are going to need service and so forth and so on. They're not responding to me. Here's their local name and address and so forth and so on. John, in turn, buys the product from me. So I've created a new market. If I can't touch the customer myself, I'll put somebody in the area to touch that customer. Okay, so that is one thing we look at. With 100,000 customers and probably 20,000 of them which are dead, this gives you a great task to reinvent them. On our own customers, what I feel that has helped us, if they don't answer our emails and so forth and so on, and I'm talking locally, there is a local website, by Jamestown, by Portsmouth, by Providence, by this, okay? So I go onto their sites. They're all local sites. I have customers in those trading areas. And I feel that Facebook is very, very good, especially local Facebooks. That we have a Facebook for the town of Richmond that we're in, so forth and so on. Because we have 7,000 people living in town, there's probably 3,000 people on Facebook. There's the town halls on the Facebook, etc. So we get our message about clean water. We get our message, time to change the filter. We get our message out through Facebook without touching the customer directly. And the other thing is we encourage people to buy the stuff online and then pick it up, like all the department stores are doing now. Buy it, you don't have to come in and so forth and so on. We've always encouraged people to do that. And we'll tell them it's time to change your filter. We have your two or three filters here, and it's already put aside for you. And so we react with the customer that way. But the first and foremost thing is we try to be very defensive that our competitors can't come in and steal our customer. You can do that by being a soft sell versus a hard sell. Most of our customers have come to us, and especially our service customers, because they don't like the hard sell that a franchise might give them. They don't like the hard sell where the salesman's going to be there for 3 or 4 hours. They don't like prices, no prices on their website. Every single item I have has a price on it. And that price is shipped to your door. Or it's not an item. It's a half an item. Okay? And every single price, so we make it very, very, very simple for the customer to see. The simpler the experience, the confidence they have in us, that they're buying the right thing, the brands we carry, all that is part of the ingredient that drives our company. Okay? That drives our company. I just got a message the other day from a survey that we're the top rated company in our town. We didn't even know they were having a survey. We didn't even know what questions they asked us. Just because of what we do in the community, what we do locally. Our advertising is very clever. Our trucks are very clever. Our building is pristine. Our outside is, we even though we're running a warehouse and so forth, our outside is full of flowers and so forth, green lawns, etc. We try to touch to our community that way. And over the 35 years, I've tried to build, in order to build a product, I tried to build a logo that was my product. And my logo stands the same as it always is. It's just a simple well house that's out in front of our building that we built and so forth. People go, oh, I know you. You're the one with the biggest well house. We've got the biggest well house in all of New England. Okay, it's just right in front of our business. You cannot drive by our building without going, wow, it's impressive. We have a wow factor with everything we do. I think if you give the customer more and more than what they didn't expect, you have them forever and ever a day. And that's what we try. That's what we try to do. Give them more. Yeah, when just a simple phone call. Geez, we put in a system there a month ago. How's everything going? Oh, I love it. I told my sister. Oh my God, yeah. We like that. Have you written a review? Not yet. We'll send them a link to write a review or to try to get a review and so forth and so on. And a lot of people tell us, which is very good, it's much better than what I thought because we didn't oversell it and so forth and so on. It's their experience that feeds back to you is what's the important thing. Because if they're feeding it back to you, they're going to feed it to their friends who they know better and better and better. And the same thing with the bad experience. So our job is just make the experience the greatest experience we possibly can because it's the only time we have the chance to do that. We can't do it the second time. So we do it the third time. So that's built into culture. Okay, the culture of a company. That's built into a mission of a company. And then it's built into the products and so forth and so on. Our manufacturers have changed a lot of the things how they used to sell and how they marketed and so forth because they saw we did it differently. And I've been under the rule of thumb forever. If somebody's doing it, they're doing it wrong. Take a look at what they're doing and do it better. And that's why we reinvent ourselves every 3 years. We reinvent ourselves from birth to grave. Okay, whether it be our uniforms, whether it be what our trucks look like, whether it be what our advertising looks like, whether it be whatever it is, we reinvent ourselves and we bring new life into it. That only helps the customer and it helps your employees. And that's what you have to do.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's a great piece of advice. That's a super piece of advice coming from a veteran. It makes a lot of sense. I'm sure Janet is also learning a lot. We all are learning a lot from Larry, from his vast experience. Thank you so much, Larry. Uh, I want to switch to Janet for one question here. Janet, I mean, clearly, Larry did work on some projects which he was not working before, but he is not a procrastinator at all. I'm so sorry for using that word. I was just trying to explain. People tend to shift projects. Okay, not today, tomorrow. What were those projects for you? Did you take some time out to work on certain projects which you had been pushing for a while?
I'm gonna agree with Larry, I think, on that one, that we push new projects through every day. And actually one of the ones that we launched in the middle of all of this was a new label design. We had refreshed our bottle labels for a few reasons. I mean, the old label didn't really speak to the product that well. Like, from the shelf perspective, you wouldn't necessarily know what it is right off the bat. And also, we're looking to grow and expand our product line, so it just made sense to kind of have a label that was a little more versatile and really could tell somebody what's in the bottle just from looking at it. So we moved that project through during the pandemic. So it was good timing, kind of, because we were able to get new product to Amazon. You know, our thought was, oh, we didn't want both products. You know, we didn't want old label and new label. So we wanted to make sure that Amazon kind of had sold out. But luckily, it sold out so quickly that we were able to just ship new label products to Amazon and make that switch kind of happen. It almost worked out really well timing wise. We were able to update kind of all of our assets, and we, you know, did the same thing. We updated all of our advertising. We don't do a lot of print, but we do print inserts in the boxes that tells people just a little bit more about how they can use our product. You know, you don't have to just take a shot of apple cider vinegar. You know, our product is great in mixed drinks, or actually alcoholic mixed drinks or plain drinks. There's both good ways. In both of them, it works well. Recipes, things like that. So we include a little pamphlet to just tell people how they can use it and give them a little more info. So we updated all of those elements. We're still working on, you know, new photography. We have a few photographers doing photo shoots for us. It worked out well timing wise for them too, because a lot of photographers that had, you know, weddings and other events that got canceled, so they were looking for some new projects. So it was actually perfect timing to kind of fit in some of these new projects. You know, we're working on video creation. It's something that we hadn't done a ton of, but now, especially that we have the new label, the new look, we wanted to have videos kind of be the next piece. So that's content that we started creating during this time period also. So yeah, so we definitely just kind of jumped in with projects that have been on the list. We did a lot of list cleanup too, like Larry was saying, just, you know, trying to get people that, you know, like if we had the same thing, some customers that hadn't bought in years that just needed to be off the list. So so we did a little bit of that as well. So yeah, we moved a lot of things forward in this time period.
Interesting. Thank you so much. And we have 10 minutes to go, and I'll go to Larry now. Larry, there are a lot of people who will be listening to this session, recorded version of it. Somebody would be like a person who's starting an e-commerce company. Somebody would be managing a mid-sized e-commerce company. What advice would you give to your viewers today?
If I was to start today, if I was to start what I did, my vision 35 years ago, if I was to start today, I would join up with Shopify.
You were?
I would join Shopify. I would have that would be the first place I would go to.
Okay.
I think Shopify, we looked at different things. We looked at Channel Advisor, we looked at some other people, but I think Shopify does it better than anybody. Also, we looked at their stuff. I'm sorry.
Magento then. Why you work?
And yes, and I've looked at your stock too. And I also, when we look at the companies, not only what we're buying from, but we also look at how their stock is performing. And we invest all our reward money and all our bonuses and everything else back into their stock. And why we do that is to give our employees college educations. So we put it into all that money, all that bonus money and everything that comes back, we give it into our stock portfolio, which is for our employees' kids to go to school, which they can draw out of as a scholarship. So we don't pay income tax on it. The companies are now involved with our families. Many companies thought this when I asked them. I said, don't give me the bonuses. I don't want the trips. Give me some stock in your company and so forth. They've changed their policies on it. And more, if you want to get involved with your customer and you want to get involved with your manufacturer and you want to have that synergy between them, nothing is better than the outside financial is holding their stock. And we've done very, very well in buying our manufacturers' stocks and watch them grow as we grow within the industry. It also keeps our family of employees tied to the industry. Because now they're selling, we've got 2 or 3 kids now in college working off our scholarship fund. And we've got new kids, my granddaughter is going to be one, she starts this September into a new scholarship fund. And she's being a scholarship is from IT&T Ghouls, which is our own company. And that's the stock that we're selling to provide her education. I made sure that she contacted the people in Ghouls, made sure she wrote a letter, how important it was to her, how they helped her, et cetera, and build that synergy. And we also, if we have extra money and nobody's going to college, we'll offer it to our customers. You've got a kid that needs a helping hand, let us know. Have us write it as an essay. Have us write it, and it's all locally. Okay, so we give money, we give that out to locally. And that brings 10 times back to you of what you invested. But I think it's all about the passion in today's business. I think that if you can bring passion into the internet, if you can bring passion to what you do, the passion that there's somebody at the other side of our phone number or 800 number, that they're going to make sure that you take care of. It's so important to grow a business. And that's what we've tried to do from the beginning. But we opened up our kimono transparency. We tell them everything about that product. We tell them everything what to expect. We tell them, so we can, being an engineer, I can tell you the future from what I'm selling. If you follow the steps, I can give you the answer. And when you have the answer, people will buy from you. And we get to the answer. Any single product you can find on our website, we can tell you exactly how it's going to perform and how to use it and where's your answer and what it's going to work with and what it isn't going to work with. But if you're not convinced, if you're not totally, pick up the phone and talk to one of our systems engineers. We will be happy to talk to you. And we have customers all over the world. My daughter just sold a big system in Jamaica yesterday. Okay, and I'm talking about 75 to 80 components to the system. But because we talk to them and so forth, they can buy it locally. They don't want to buy it locally because they can't get the communication, they can't get the quality, they can't get the passion, they can't get the. And this is now the 3rd hotel that we've done for this construction company in Jamaica. We do the same thing. We're doing it in Nassau. We're doing it throughout Puerto Rico. We're doing it throughout the Virgin Islands. It's all truly is about how your passion and working with your customer. We have something that is long term. Okay, water is universal. They use it every single day. And I think somebody said to me recently, if you were to make an ad, what would your ad be? And I said my ad is very simple because I think of it every day. My ad would be this mother getting up in the first thing in the morning and waking up before her kids are still in bed, and she goes downstairs and she turns on the water and she makes her first cup of coffee. And when she's looking out that window, she's looking out at that well casing that's outside, just sticking out of the ground 1 foot. That's what she's looking at. Okay, she makes her coffee. The kids get dressed and they go to school and so forth. She makes their drinks and their lunch. She now does the laundry. She takes her shower. She washes her hair. She makes dinner. So right through everything to her last cup of tea at night. And when she sits down to have her last cup of tea after all her daily routine is done and so forth, she takes a sip of the tea and she says, "Thank you, Aqua Science." Because we have touched her every part of the way. The kids' clothes, the laundry, the health of the food, how the food's going to come out, and so forth and so on. The cleanliness of the shower, we touch them in every way. You try to touch people in a special way. And that's how I want my customer to think of us when they pick up and turn on their faucet. That we're part of them. We're in there, we're with them all the time, 24/7. So forth and so on. So that's what I try to create a passion. Everybody else is making it different. Okay, it's so easy to compete because that's how the customer wants to feel. They don't care about your booba-dooba-doo tube. And they don't care. They want to have clean water. Can you guarantee? They don't care about you're the only one and it's right territory. It's over. They don't care about that. They care about every single day. Can I rely on you? And can I rely on this product? And if there's a problem, would you stand behind it? In essence, that is truly what a company is.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's so moving. That's so inspirational, Larry. Thank you so much, Larry. And I want to thank Janet as well. We are almost up with the time which we allocated to discussion. Thank you so much, both of you. Thank you very much. You both are. I mean, a lot of when this video gonna go out as a recording on different channels, I'm sure a lot of people are gonna watch it and like it. There are a lot of things that they learned from both Larry and Janet, and I cannot thank you enough. Both of you are such wonderful people, such givers. You did not hesitate telling anybody or everybody about what are your secrets, what is working for you, what is not working for you, how to go about things, how to start your companies, what to look for, what to do, what not to do. Fabulous discussion. I'm so thankful, and I wish you a fantastic day ahead. Thank you so much again, and have a fantastic day ahead.
Well, thank you very much for inviting us. Janet, I use your product. I want to tell you that. My wife and I use your product. We're very healthy people here, and we love it. And congratulations on all your success.
Thank you. You too.
Wonderful, wonderful, excellent, excellent.
Enjoy the day.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you very much. Take care of yourself both. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.